Hey everyone, Devon Digital, and I purchased the M1 Pro MacBook Pro in 2025. What's up everyone? So we're going to talk about this M1 Pro MacBook Pro that I just purchased. Now, let me give you a little history behind me real quick, is that I'm a content creator and a photographer, and I actually use my M4 Pro Mac Mini to edit pretty much all of my work on. And before that, I was using the M2 Pro Mac Mini, and that's where I do most of my work. And then the laptop I had was the M1 MacBook Air, and that was my work laptop. And what I mean by work is that I just use Microsoft apps on it, and I do occasional photo editing. And if I'm honest, completely honest, that was fine for what I do. I didn't really do any video editing. I don't like video editing on laptops due to the screen size. And no, 16 inches isn't big enough for me. I edit on a 43-inch monitor, and I got two of them actually, one upstairs, one downstairs, and I edit on both of those, and I'm just accustomed to larger screens when it comes to editing, plus I wear glasses, and the strain. I just like bigger screens when it comes to video editing. So I opted to go ahead and decide to upgrade to the M1 Pro MacBook Pro, not for reasons of video editing, but just the SD card slot. I was really sick of using dongles in my MacBook Air consistently whenever I take photos and then have to take the SD card out and plug it up to go ahead and try to transfer things using a dongle every single time. It just didn't work well when I plugged my Canon camera straight into the Mac. For some reason, it doesn't open up as a file manager. It just opens up in the Photos app and it's telling me to send the photos to there. And then from there, they're no longer RAW files. So it was just a hot mess. And my Windows laptop, my Samsung Snapdragon S book, something 4 book, I don't know, I don't remember. When I plug my Canon camera up, it opens up as a file manager, easily to transfer my files. But I got the M1 Pro MacBook Pro, that name, is because the SD card slot. But what I got was a whole lot more. It looks nice. It has ports on both sides, which I really love. And it has its own charging, MagSafe Charging, which means that I don't have to even use the ports for charging if I don't want to. And it's a lot safer. So when somebody comes by and knock out that cord, it'll just pull the cord out and it won't take my whole laptop with them. Now, surprisingly enough, I did find this 14-inch screen to be just good enough for me to edit my photography on just fine, no problems. It looks really good. And let me tell you, like a lot of, YouTubers out here was so impressed with the screen quality of the 120 hertz and the XDR display and all that. I'm gonna be honest, my first impression, I was like, it's just a screen. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the point is that I edit on a 120 hertz screen, and it's a very good monitor. And I'm just so used to looking at good screens all day long that I wasn't immediately blown away by most YouTubers. It looks like a really good screen to me, and that's about the gist of it. It's nothing special to me about it, but for others it is something absolutely special. Another thing that I really love about it was the keyboard typing experience, as well as the trackpad. Even though I barely use the trackpad, normally when I'm using this laptop, I'm using it on a table or a desk, and I'm using a actual mouse with it. I don't really do trackpads like talking about it. I got the Magic trackpad, and I don't remember the last time I used it. I'm just a mouse guy when it comes to it. I don't use laptops in my lap or anything like that. I love sitting them down on tables, and I love using them with a mouse. It just makes better editing for me when I'm editing my photos versus the trackpad. Another thing about this laptop, I just want to let you know that I did buy the base model so all of you can know which one I'm reviewing right now, but I did upgrade the storage in it. Well, I didn't really upgrade it. I just found a used model that was 16 gigabytes with 1 terabyte, and that's pretty much what I have now. And I only got the terabyte because I feel like I just wanted more storage for some weird reason, because to be honest with you, I do work off of SSDs when it comes to most things, but with this laptop I don't work off any SSDs because this is just strictly for Microsoft apps and photo editing. And I am purchasing Lightroom, so well, let's just say Photoshop in Lightroom, and I have everything uploaded to the cloud, so I can just pick up the laptop and just go. And then just as long as I'm connected to the internet, I can just edit my photos in Lightroom, send them over to Photoshop, which I mostly edit 90% in Photoshop. I use Lightroom as the bridge to get my photos to Photoshop because it's uploaded to the cloud, and I just transfer them over there and I start editing. And then I just save them on the computer, and when I get home, I just airdrop them to my larger Mac, my M4 Mac, and I go from there. In my testing, I did edit one video just to see how powerful 16 gigabytes was going to be with the 1 terabyte SSD. And I want to say that if you are a person who's looking for this laptop for video editing, without all the numbers, without all the fancy stuff that everyone talks about at benchmarks, I want to say that I shot on my Canon R6 4K footage, and it just blew right through it, and I was color grading and everything like that. So I just want to say that if you are on the fence of getting this, then you can still get it. It's a really capable laptop in 2025. I have no regrets getting this, and I don't feel like I want to upgrade. I just needed to upgrade from my MacBook M1 Air because I just needed to upgrade. And plus, the speakers on this thing is freaking incredible. I mean, this is not my first MacBook Pro, so all the Pros I ever owned had incredible speakers, but the Air just didn't. I had my first Air. The M1 was my very first Air, and I was happy for it. My wife got it for me for my birthday, and I kept it for a good 3 years, and I was extremely happy with it. And now I'm just ready to move on. Now, I don't want to talk too much about battery life because I'm a person who actually plugs up my laptops whenever I can. I'm not one of those people who just kind of work without it being plugged up half the time. But when I got it, it was at 94 battery cycles. I don't know if that's good or bad in the Mac world or not, but it had 94 cycles on it. And I say that the battery can last pretty, I don't know. I haven't even timed it, if I'm being honest. On a work day, I would leave the job with like 74% or something like that, so I don't really know. Now, if I'm doing any photo editing, it drops down a lot. I'll just say somewhere between 30-35% by the time I get home. And this is not me editing for 8 hours straight. This is just me editing for maybe about 4 or 5 hours. I really can't say what battery life is really looking like because I'm mostly plugged in for, just because I just got battery anxiety. I'm just that type of person. But besides all that, I really love this laptop, and I'm really glad that I upgraded to the M1 Pro Macbook Pro from my M1 Air. I have no regrets. So if you're on the fence of getting this, I would say just pull the trigger because you can get this for a good cheap price today. And I think it's a very capable laptop compared to what they have out now. And maybe years later, I will get an M2 or M3 or M4 of the Pro model, and when the price comes down, because as of right now, I don't use laptops like that. My M1 Pro Mac Mini will do me justice for the next feasible years, and I even maxed that out to 64 gigs of RAM because I know that I will be doing a lot of video editing, and that would be my heavy workload machine. Anyways, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.